Good morning. This is Curtis with 382days.com. Today we're going to talk about salt and its effect on the body and why you need to have a lot of salt in your diet, or enough salt is probably a better way to say it. I'm also going to give a little bit of an update on where I'm at and how I feel, and we'll go from there. So we'll start off with how I'm feeling. Today I woke up, I'm a little tired today. I've not been sleeping real well. One of the side effects of fasting is you get all this excess energy. That excess energy is 24 hours a day. And so you don't sleep quite as well as you would without fasting. I'm hoping that levels off a little bit. I'm able to get a little more sleep. I'm not helping myself at all with that because I'm staying up a little bit later to watch the Olympics and that kind of stuff. So we'll see how things go as time goes on. But I definitely don't want my cortisol to get high, which is what happens when you don't sleep enough, and add those hunger cravings, which fortunately at the moment I don't have. As far as my weight is concerned, I'm down to 435 pounds even, so I'm happy about that. My belt has needed to be tightened up a little bit as far as a non-scale victory, and again, I feel really, really good, so that's awesome. But today we're going to talk about the main topic, which is salt. So Redmond Real Salt is the one that I'm primarily consuming at the moment. There are several really good salts out there. I'll probably do another podcast on salt where I actually talk about the different versions and stuff like that. But today I'm going to get into, first of all, why you should have salt and the particulars of why I chose this particular one. So where I got the information on salt, I guess it's kind of a longer story than just a book that I read. I've been learning, as I did my previous diets and stuff like that, I learned a lot about health and wellness, and I'm a nerd, and so I dive deep into these kinds of things, and I learned a long time ago that salt is not something really to worry about. Well, now there's finally a guy out there that actually has some evidence, some proof. And he's looked at different studies and stuff like that. And his name is James DiNicolantonio. Wait, I'm messing that up. It's James DiNicolantonio. James DiNicolantonio. And his book is called The Fat Fix, or excuse me, The Salt Fix. It's a good read. It gets fairly technical at times, but all diet books do. But the salient points are we need more salt in our diets. And the fact is, he lists off several different salts near the end of the book. The Himalayan sea salt, there's a Celtic salt, there's there's a Hawaiian black salt, and then there's the one that I'm doing, which is the Redmond Real Salt, which is mined in a mine in Redmond, I believe it's Utah. Don't quote me on the state, but it's definitely Redmond is the name of the city where that is. Now, there's a lot of benefits to that. First of all, it lowers sugar cravings, which is awesome, right? And so a lot of times we lower our salt, and so we crave carbs, which isn't good. A lot of people talk about the fact that you need salt, or you should have low salt for heart attacks, lower your blood pressure and all that kind of stuff. And the fact is, there are as many studies proving that as there are studies proving that it's not true. I did a little research this morning, and I found a guy that was reviewing the book, and he did a 6-month test where he measured his blood pressure every day, and he saw no difference after he tripled his salt intake daily, but he noticed that he had extra energy, which is another reason that James DiNicolantonio talks about it. It actually helps your workouts. It helps your synapses fire better in your muscles and your nerves. Also, it helps with insulin sensitivity. So your body is more sensitive to insulin. So those of you that are diabetic or pre-diabetic, your body won't have to issue as much insulin, which then of course will drive hunger, which of course then drives fat, or eating, and then which adds fat to it. The fact is, one of the great things about getting a salt like this, which is a natural salt, is the fact that it's pure in the sense that it's not going to have a lot of contaminants. Because this is mined, and it's literally millions of years old in this mine. One of the downsides of like a sea salt is that depending on where they mine it, or acquire it, I should say, it may be contaminated with other things. Whereas Redmond sea salt, or excuse me, Redmond real salt, is one that is actually pulled up and actually has very little contaminants, or really probably none. Though it does have tons and tons of minerals, which are additionally beneficial. It has obviously sodium, chloride, potassium. It does have a small amount of iodine, but it says right on the package, don't count on this for your iodine, numbers for the day. The fact is, if you're deficient in iodine, maybe you do this and you mix it with some actual iodized salt. Which is not something I'm doing at the moment, but it's something I'm considering, mostly because I got rid of all the iodized salt because I didn't think I needed it. Now that I'm fasting, I'm not bringing in any iodine from my diet, things like kale and those kinds of things that I would get my iodine from. So my wife's Japanese, I think I mentioned that on the channel before, and so we get a fair amount of iodine. Another interesting thing about the studies of salt is you look at, as far as it being not bad for the heart, if you look at societies like the Koreans, the Japanese, and the Mediterranean diets, the way they eat is actually rather high in sodium, much higher than what we have in sodium here, and they have some of the lowest rates of heart problems and high blood pressure and all that kind of stuff. So basically what I'm saying is you need your salt. And so I'm doing it, and it's helping me out. I know when I did fasting without salt, I got woozy, dizzy, a little nauseous, stuff like that. A little bit of salt helps that. I actually have a salt shaker that I just tip it back. I did that as a kid. Actually, I'm not sure why I did that, but I would tell you that James, the author of The Salt Fix, would probably tell you that it was because of a salt deficiency. It might have also been because I was a little crazy. Who knows? But that's what I have on salt. If you're interested in the book, I will have a link down in the comments area, or sorry, in the description area. So please click on that. If you enjoyed today's show, please give it a thumbs up, and of course, please subscribe. That way you'll get future videos. I'll be doing this daily. I'm probably going to do either a weekly or a monthly, total update on my progress, where I'm at. I'm doing a little bit of that every day, but I'm going to kind of step away from that a tiny bit so that this doesn't become boring. I'm going to come up with different topics. So today was salt, and I hope you guys have a great day, and I'll see you tomorrow.